Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. This is the beginning of our 6th week of this class, and there are a couple of really important things I want to say at the very beginning of this video. Okay, a number of important things I want to say throughout the video, but at the beginning of the video there's some particularly important things. One of the consistent issues that I have seen in online classes is that students are not necessarily paying much attention to these videos. My sense coming out of steps 9 and 10 is that a number of people are not either watching the videos or are watching the videos and not taking very careful notes over them, and are perhaps simply answering the question associated with the video without walking away from the video with much of an understanding of what it is I'm trying to impart in the video. Okay, so we need to just, that could be wrong. I could be wrong, and I'm very willing to hear that I am wrong. But my sense is that that's probably the case. It's probably the case because when I look at step 9, there were some wildly different approaches to step 9, but there were a number of approaches to step 9 that matched up with the instruction I've been giving in these videos that leads me to think that some students are really watching the videos and getting something from the videos and others are not. Okay, so we want to address that, and we want to make sure that everybody has the best possible chance to succeed in the class. So how do we do that? Well, we want to just reiterate, I guess, first, to the extent that it's helpful, the need to watch these videos and take good notes and understand that the ideas I impart in these videos are intended to be carried forward in time through the class. That's really important to understand. The second thing to keep in mind is that it's so important to let me know if you have questions or comments along the way. A number of you have been reaching out for help, and those who have been reaching out for help, I have been able to, I believe, help in the class. I've seen grades improve, I've seen better approaches to assignments and those kinds of things. So, we just need to be aware that an online class comes with challenges that are not necessarily found in a face-to-face class, and also have some sympathy for the fact that many people have been forced into online classes this semester as a result of this pandemic that we're all going through, and we have to just make the best of our situation. So that's really important to understand, and I want to help you make the best of your situation. That's again why I'm here. But there are some fundamental things we have to be able to do in terms of our writing. With respect to step 9, one of the issues that I saw quite frequently is that people had a kind of general sense of the instructions, but they weren't paying as much attention to our basic values for writing that we've been thinking about and talking about throughout the term. So one of the things we've established, and one of the reasons why so many of you have lower scores on step 9, is that when we write in this class, our individual paragraphs all need to provide some evidence that we're working with a course term or a course concept. Those terms for step 9 largely come from the first 8 pages of field working. These are terms that relate to culture, relate to subculture, relate to the insider stance, the outsider stance, objectivity, terms such as those, which we should be able to deploy as part of our analysis of the subculture that we journeyed into and have something to say about. So the short takeaway here is that when I look at your assignment 9 submissions, every paragraph should include something that's quoted or paraphrased, and in either instance cited parenthetically, okay, in the paragraph. So every paragraph should include a parenthetical reference to the text. That is, you should be able to deploy a term or concept the text brings up as you talk about and describe the journey you have undertaken into a particular subculture. So what I received were a range of submissions. I received a number of submissions where there were no parenthetical citations at all excuse me, one moment. There weren't any submissions at all to our course terms. I received other submissions that maybe made 1 or 2, kind of sporadically, but they were there, which is positive. But what wasn't showing up necessarily in many of the submissions was an effort paragraph by paragraph to include cited references, to our course text. That is, in-text cited references parenthetically in the paragraph to the course text. So that's something a number of us need to keep in mind as we go into this week, and as we move into, in particular, step 11. Step 11 is an opportunity for you to revise your work from step 9. The revision isn't simply an opportunity to hand in the same work again. You'll need to replace at least half of the material that you submitted for step 9, even if you did particularly well, okay, in step 9. So even if you got 100 in step 9, you're going to be switching out and replacing at least half of the content that you produced. And the way you'll be doing that largely is by becoming engaged with course terms from our readings that you either have not yet used in your writing, or which you might use in a different way in relation to different subjects. Okay? So that'll be important. That'll be important for people to focus on this week as they move through the class. How is it that we can show our understanding of course terms by using them paragraph by paragraph as we are addressing this journey that we've gone on into a subculture? That's an important idea we're carrying into this week. It's also true that this week brings assignment 12, which is going to have us looking at an early ethnography, an ethnography by the author Rick Zollo entitled Friday Nights at Iowa 80, which is a great little piece about a truck stop. And that's going to show up in field working. There's kind of two readings. There's the Zollo piece, and then there's a piece following the Zollo piece on the topic of voice. I want you to read and annotate both of those sections identified in the assignment. And by annotate, I mean, of course, we are indicating the main ideas in the text or the things that we have questions about in the text. And then we are also taking that second level of annotation to write comments about what we're seeing in the text, or to ask questions about what we're seeing in the text, to literally write those things out. And we're doing that in both instances because that is going to help us be engaged readers, and that will help us, when we write about this document, be able to return to the document and remember the key moments that will be useful to us in our writing. That is, that we can go on to cite and reference. Okay? So, as we start this week, a number of us struggled with step 9. We want to make sure that we rebound from that struggling. There's plenty of time to rebound in the class, but we want to make sure we're rebounding in the class. And the most straightforward way for the majority of us to do that is to, paragraph by paragraph, begin to use and cite the course terms as we present our journey, as we present our analysis to the readers. Now, all of this presumes that you are listening to this lecture and have been doing so for the past 7 minutes and 48 seconds. And I believe you are, if you're here. But if we're not paying attention to the basic course materials, the class will become quite challenging. So I want you to be aware of that effort this week, okay? I want you to be careful to follow the instructions for the assignments. And more than anything, I want you to reach out for help. I want you to reach out for help if you need it. I'm here to give it to you. Okay, I'm here to help you out to the best of my ability. So let's make that shift. Let's make that positive change this week. And I look forward to seeing the work that you produce next.